What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy, bringing you another gold nugget that you can either pick up or you can just kick it aside. Now, before you go into the presentation, let me say this right here. I will be in Morocco, Portugal, as well as Spain next month, diving into their history to show and prove to you all, even based upon what you're going to see in the presentation, these European writers, historians, or these authors who show and prove that those who were expelled out of that region were Jews. Matter of fact, let's clarify it, Black Jews. So sit back and watch this presentation. It'll be a three-part because I know you all don't like to listen or watch videos for over 5 minutes, but these will be about 8 minutes. So stay tuned to the upcoming building blocks of knowing not only who you are, but who our ancestors were when they had to get on these slave ships shipped over to Brazil, Central Americas, and even North America. And you're going to see the important part of how you play the significant role in the Bible that they call it, so that you understand we have to stand up, rise up, and be righteous in the eyes of the Most High. Watch this video, and I hope you add this to your library of information.
And we're going to start with a new voyage to Italy. I'm going to begin on page 139. All right, and we're going to start right down here. And it reads, "'Tis also a vulgar error that the Jews are all black, for this is only true of the Portuguese Jews, who marrying always amongst one another, beget children like themselves, and consequently the swarthiness of their complexion is entailed upon the whole race, even in the northern regions. So, according to this source, it is just verifying the fact that the Portuguese Jews are black or are black. Also, they marry amongst one another, therefore their children are swarthy. If you didn't know, swarthy is just a complexion of dark, so they beget dark children like themselves. So, let's continue to build on with the next source, and it's from the History of the Jews by Hannah Adams. And we're going to start on page 180. We're going to start right here where it says the Spanish and Portuguese Jews claim their descent from the tribe of Judah. In consequence of this supposed superiority, they have not till lately married or in any way incorporated with their brethren of other nations. They had separate synagogues, and if a Portuguese Jew, even in England or Holland, married a German Jew, she was immediately expelled from the synagogue. So, this source right here is just highlighting the fact that the Spanish and Portuguese Jews claim their descent from the tribe of Judah. And also, it was just piggybacking off the last source, or confirming that they only marry amongst one another by saying that they wouldn't even incorporate themselves with their other brethren, or other nations, or the other tribes. So they live separately. They would only marry with one another. But let's continue to build. With this next source I got, we're going to bring out another witness, and it's from Legitimist Magazine and History Chronicle. We're going to start on page 12. I'm going to read right here. And it says, the Spanish Jews are the true descendants from the tribe of Judah and the royal house of David, and were settled in Spain from the time of the captivity of the first temple by Nebuchadnezzar. So, here we go with our second source letting us know that the Spanish and Portuguese Jews are the true descendants of the tribe of Judah. But another key thing to take away from this source is that it let us know that they were settled in Spain from the time of the captivity of the first temple by Nebuchadnezzar. Now, if you know, that's biblical. So they've been settled in Spain, or at least some of the tribe of Judah has been settled in Spain for a pretty long time. But like I said, we building the puzzle pieces. We putting the pieces together. So far, we got that they were black and that they were from the tribe of Judah. So let's continue to build with the next source. And we're just going to be focusing on a man named Yahya bin Rabbi. All you can do, you can do a simple Wikipedia search or Google search, and you'll find out this information. So, Yahya bin Rabbi, also known as Yahya the Negro, was a Portuguese nobleman. He was reputed to be a direct descendant from the Hebrew exilarchs, exilarchs of ancient Babylon that claimed direct descent from the biblical King David. He was the progenitor of the Ibn Yahya family. So we have a Portuguese nobleman by the name of Yahya the Negro, who claimed to be direct descent from the Hebrews that claimed direct descent from King David. So my question to you all is, why would a Jew have the last name Negro or be called or referred to as a Negro unless he was black or unless he is a Negro? You see what I'm saying? So why would a so-called Jew have the surname or last name or be called the Negro? It's just a question to put on top of your head. That's another piece to the puzzle. Let's go ahead and put it together. History of the Jews by Heinrich G. We're going to begin in the middle passage on page 339. And it reads, Abravanel was not the only Jewish favorite at Alfonso's court. Two brothers, Ibn Yahya Negro, also frequented the court of Lisbon. They were sons of a certain Don David, who had recommended them not to invest their rich inheritance into real estate, for he saw that banishment was in store for the Portuguese Jews. So here we have another source giving us examples of Jews with the last name Negro. So again, I asked, why would Jews have the last name Negro? It says here we have two Portuguese brothers, Ibn Yahya Negro, who also frequented visit the court of Lisbon. So, aren't we known as Negroes today? Exactly. With this being said, they carried the surname Negro or last name Negro because they were Negroes or because they were black. But let's continue on. Another interesting thing to take away from this source is that it lets us know later on that he saw that banishment was in store for the Portuguese Jews. So what he told them to not invest their rich inheritance in real estate. So far, we have the Jews was black. We have they came from the tribe of Judah, and we have examples of them having the last name or surname Negro. So let's continue to build with this next source. So 100 Amazing Facts About the Negro with Complete Proof by J.A. Rogers. And we're going to start right here where you see the Negro Jews of West Africa. So the Negro Jews of West Africa have so-called Semitic profiles. So let me stop right there. I know y'all been seeing all the stuff that's going around in the media, or Nick Cannon, Deshaun Jackson, all these people being labeled anti-Semitic for saying that we are the Semitic peoples. If you do your research, you'll find out that we are, and that we really are the true Jews, as I'm trying to point out here. So next time you hear somebody say, oh, a black person is being anti-Semitic, just remember that they can't, because more than likely they are the true Semitic people, or they come from a Semitic person. So let's read again. Let's start over from the beginning. It reads, the Negro Jews of West Africa have so-called Semitic profiles. In France, Spain, and Portugal, there are Negroid Jews with woolly hair. Feel your hair. What kind of hair you got? Let's continue. The Portuguese Jews are the aristocrats of Jewry and show considerable Negroid strains. Let me start over and read this again. In France, Spain, and Portugal, there are Negroid Jews with woolly hair. The Portuguese Jews are the aristocrats of Jewry and show considerable Negro strain. So, according to the 100 Amazing Facts About the Negro is a Jew. The Jews are Negroid people. Makes sense to why the Portuguese Jews will have a surname Negro or be called the Negro, which is a Spanish word for black. So once again, this source is just confirming that the Jews are Negroid people, that the Jews are Negroes. Think about it, think about it, think about it, think about it, think about it.